Hey guys, welcome everybody. My name's James. I'm with Real Oak Outdoors, and today I'm going to go over my top 3 lures that I will pull out during summertime, and works very well for me during summertime. On them 90 plus degree days, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, does not matter. I always catch fish 95% of the time using these 3 baits during the summertime. Now the color will vary depending on my water clarity, depending on what structures are around, a few other variables. If I'm throwing around rocks, wood, docks. This time of the year, bass go to cover or they will go deep. One of the two. Very seldom will I find them up shallow midday anyway. Mornings and evenings you can find them shallow. I'm not saying they won't be there, but in my situations where I fish at, 90% of the time they're underneath the docks or they're down deep in cover, 10-15 feet plus. Today I'm going to show you my 3 top lures. There are different variants of it, but it's all the same 3. My first one, frog. I know a lot of people don't like fishing a frog, or they just don't know how to work a frog. It just takes a little practice. But if you're going to be around docks, skipping docks specifically, or any kind of overhang cover, frog. Frog, frog, frog. Can't stress that enough. Always keep them with you. Even if you don't like fishing it, keep it with you. If you find a lot of cover that's overhanging, or if you come up to a lot of docks that you can actually get underneath, my lake that I fish most of the time, almost all the docks are sitting directly on the water, so of course you can't skip under those. A lot of people are moving to the aluminum docks that do set up 6 inches to a foot out of the water, which is great. I love it. I love seeing them go in because that's just more and more cover for the lake. But frog, love it, love it, love it. And I fish a black frog a lot. I know a lot of people's like, well, there ain't too many black frogs around. It don't matter. Not where I fish at. Now, it may where you fish at, it may in a pond, but at Rough River Lake where I do most of my fishing, black frog does good. And also, my second top water that I will keep on me no matter what time of the day, no matter what I'm fishing around, Patroller. Love these things. I got several different ones, different colors, different sizes. I'm not 100% sure on the brand on this. I can't remember right offhand. But this Whopper Plopper does great. Bass love it. Them finicky bass that you can't really get to bite on much. Throw one of these, there's a good chance you're going to get a reaction strike. Now, my second go-to, and I fish this type of lure, excuse me, 95% of the time. Even early in the morning, late in the evenings, I love it. It's one of my favorite lures to fish. A good old trusty chatterbait. This brand is actually one of the originals. This is actually a chatterbait. This is the brand. And the trailer, I believe this trailer is the ice trailer from I can't think of their name right offhand. I believe it's Intimidator Bait Company, if I'm not mistaken. I'll check that out here in a little bit and let you all know for sure. And if I'm not fishing a chatterbait, or if I'm getting hits on it but they're just hitting it or playing with it, not really taking it, or if I get a good hit and I can't, when I miss it and I can't get them to go back to it, I'll pick up a jig. I love fishing with these jigs where I'm at, where I do most of my fishing at. The bass really seem to respond to them well. Even those finicky summertime bass, they do really well with these. I can get a strike a lot of times, you know, and depending on, you know, of course I was fishing this morning, the water was semi-cloudy, but it was deep. I was fishing 10-12 feet deep, and did pretty good with this one. This exact lure, I literally just took it off my pole just to show you guys in the video what I like fishing with, and I caught 7 this morning. So definitely keep this in the box. Now, the ultimate go-to, if you just absolutely can't get them to bite on anything, the thing that I will pull out and almost guarantee a bite, the rubber worm. Specifically 10-inch or larger. I prefer to use a 10-inch. I don't like going too much smaller than that. I don't like going too much bigger than that. Around rocks, cover, docks, it don't matter. You can fish this thing shallow, you can fish it deep. Some cases you can dang near drag this thing behind your kayak and almost guarantee you get a hit. Not saying that you will, alright? I'm just joking on that, but Texas rig. Texas rig, Texas rig. That's the way I fish this. I don't like any other way, really. Don't have much luck any other way except a Texas rig. Every now and then I will take the weight off depending on what kind of structure I am fishing around. If there's a lot of brush and it's thick, I will take the sinker off there and just slow fish this thing and hit every nook and cranny I can of that brush pile. I'll also, every now and then, I will fish a Ned rig. I'm sorry. It's semi-new to me. I've never really fished it a whole lot until the last year and a half. I've always been, before 2 or 3 years ago, before I really got serious into fishing, I was always a crankbait or a rubber worm, lipless crankbait, spinner, you know, just one of those guys. If I went, great. If I caught, great. If I didn't, okay. The Ned rig, if any of you don't know, you hook it about halfway and gives you a little jiggle when you're going through the water, but you don't want to work it too much. If you work a Ned rig too much, then you're basically pretty much worm fishing. So what's the point? The way I fish it, I'll throw this in there with my little weight on there, and I'll let it sit. I'll let it sit for 2 or 3 minutes. I slow fish this, and when I do move it, it's just slight little jiggle, and that's it. Then let the water, let the current do it. That will drive a bass nuts. They may sit there and watch it. I've done videos where we were in pretty clear water and you could sit there and watch the bass nose down at it, just looking at it and watching it for 2, 3, 4 minutes, and this thing just barely moving in the current, and then you give it that little jiggle, bam, nails it. So just because you're not getting a bite within that minute or two does not mean there ain't fish around there, because I guarantee you there's fish around there. If it's hot, bass tend to not be as aggressive, so you got to be patient with them. You got to be slow. Take your time. Get in them rock piles, get in them brush piles, and take your time. That's of course when you're using your net rig or your rubber worm. Now sometimes I will fish this fast. It depends on, I fish out of a kayak, so it depends on how much current I do have. If I'm being pushed a lot, or if there's a lot of boating activity. I don't like to anchor down because I don't want to get swamped and potentially lose everything, or you know, turn the kayak over. So I will kind of fish this a little fast, and if it is too much boat traffic or the wind is too strong, I just won't even fish this. I'll go to a spinner or I'll go to a chatterbait. Well guys, that's those are my 3 go-tos, and they work, guys. They do. You just got to get out there, find what color they want, find what size they want. And what I mean by size is your trailers. Sometimes I do really good with these small trailers. Sometimes I have to put a little longer one on, like a lizard or even a 6-7 inch worm. I have had success with that. Now, of course, everything I've told you today, this is based on my opinion, and my opinion only. This is what works for me, where I fish at. It might not work for you. It all depends on where you're fishing at, you know, what your cover is, what your structures are. If you're in shaded areas almost all day long, if you're fishing a creek or a lake, if you got current, all that comes into play. The best advice I can give you is just go out there and don't take a whole tackle box. Pick you 2 or 3 lures out, go out there and spend a day or 2 and learn those lures. Fish them. Try to find clear water. Fill your bathtub up. Work those baits in the bathtub. See how they act underwater when you're bouncing them off the bottom of the tub. You'd be surprised how much you can learn off of that, and you'd be surprised to see the action of a lure, you know, or a Ned rig, or you know, any other kind of setup you might want to use. Some people like fishing a wacky worm. Some people like putting weight on it. Some people don't. Some people like just fishing a fluke, you know, unweighted fluke. But just throw it in a bathtub with some water and just work your rod tip and see the action of the lure. That helps you a lot to see what's going on underneath that water. Throw something in the tub that'll sink, you know, something simple that, you know, you're not going to tear up, and then work that lure over top of the item that you throw in the bathtub, so you can kind of get a feel what it feels like if you're going over something solid, something soft, grassy feeling. Just anything like that helps. And like I said, grab 3 lures, leave the rest of the tackle box at home, learn those 3 lures. It does you no good if you have a tackle box with 80 different things in there and every 3 minutes you're changing lures out. It's not going to help you guys. Grab you 3, go out, learn them. Take another day or 2, grab 3 different ones, take them out, learn them. That's the best advice I can give you. You don't have to have the newest stuff out there. You don't have to have $300-400 rods to catch fish. You don't have to have 5,000 different lures to catch fish. Just get what you like, what you're comfortable with. Go out there and learn it. Once you feel like you've learned it, move on. Go to something else. Learn it. That will help you guys in the long run. Now, something I always like to say to people who think they got to have the best of everything, you don't. My most expensive rod and reel that I have is probably around 120 bucks. I didn't pay that much for it. I actually got it on sale. If it wasn't, I wouldn't have bought it. I've caught numerous bass. I've caught 10 pounders. I've caught 12 pounders on Walmart reels. Just got to get used to what you're doing. Set your reels up right. Get your proper line on there. And do the best with what you have until you have the best. That's all I got for you today, guys. Keep an eye out. Soon we're going to do a versus video. I bought some lures off of Wish, and I bought some lures off of Amazon. We're going to try them out, see which one does better. And they're the exact same lures. I tried, or very, very similar. That way I could see which one done better for the price point. I made sure that I bought some lures that were at least $10-15 difference in the price. That way we can see if the cheap Wish lures outfish the more expensive lures off of Amazon. So keep an eye out for that. I'll probably do that here in the next few days. I will have my GoPros up and going in, and I will take you all along on that, and you guys can view that experience with me. All right, guys. Y'all have a good day. Thank you.